Hi, this is Mark from eReplacementParts.com. In this video, I'm going to show you two adjustments that every miter saw owner should know how to make. How to adjust the miter adjustment on your saw, as well as the bevel adjustment. The saw we will be adjusting today is a Porter Cable model 3802L. We're going to start by seeing which adjustments need to be made to the saw. Here we have a 6-inch adjustable combination square. I find this tool works great for making adjustments to power tools. To start, I'm going to set the square up against the blade on the saw and bring it back against the fence. Here you can see we're about 1/16 of an inch out of square, so we'll need to adjust that portion of the fence. I'm going to raise the blade up, move the square out of the way, and now I have a level. And I'm just using the level as a straight edge. I'm going to put this up against both sides of the fence because, as I mentioned earlier, this saw has a split fence system. And you can see there's a gap between both fences. So we're going to need to adjust both fences to be in line with each other as well. Now you're looking at the back of the left side fence. And we're going to concentrate on the left side of the saw to start with. First, there's this upper piece of the fence I'm going to remove. To do that, I just loosen this knob and totally unscrew it and remove it from the saw. Okay, with the knob removed, now I can lift this upper fence portion off the saw and I'll set it aside. Now we have this block here. This is attached to this extension table by a couple of bolts from underneath. And I'll use the wrench that actually came with the saw to loosen up those. Now we'll loosen these 3 bolts which hold this portion of the fence to the base. Okay, with everything loose, now we can go ahead and start realigning. So again, I'm going to take my square and put it up against the blade, bring it to the fence. You can see here where we're out of adjustment. So now I'll begin to tweak that fence until it's in adjustment with my square, like it is right there. Now I'll take my wrench again and tighten up the first nut or bolt, locking that fence into place. And we'll double check it. Sometimes when I tighten that first bolt, it will move the fence a little bit. And it looks like it did. So I can still, because this is the only bolt tight, I can still adjust the fence back until it is perfectly square, like it is there. Now with that perfectly adjusted, we'll tighten up the rear bolt. And again, double check with the square, and everything looks good. So now I can tighten up that last bolt. Okay, with those tight, now we can concentrate on this fence on the extension. The best way to align that is to take this upper extension piece, lay it back onto the saw, and that's going to pull this fence into perfect alignment with the primary fence. So with that in place, now I can tighten those 2 bolts up on the underside of the table again. Now we can replace the knob that holds the extension piece to the rest of the saw. With the left side of the fence in alignment, we can use it to align the right side. To do that, I'll bring my level back in, place it against the left side fence, and all we need to do, because this side is in perfect alignment, is to make this perfectly parallel and touching our level. So I'll loosen the 3 bolts that hold the right side fence in place, just like we did on the left. I'll hold the level securely against the left side fence and bring the right side fence also tied up against the level. Once it's in place, I'll just tighten the 3 bolts back down again. And then verify across the length of my fence that everything is perfectly straight and everything's touching the level, and it all appears to be good. With our miter adjustment set, now we can move on to the bevel angle. I'm going to take that little 6-inch adjustable combination square and remove the rule, so I have just the head. Now we can use this portion to check the bevel. I'll unlock the bevel adjustment, lower the saw down, tilt it over, and pull the guard up out of the way. Now I can get that piece of the square up in there, and you can see how badly the bevel adjustment is out on my saw. So now we'll fix that. On my Porter cable saw, the adjustment for the bevel is made with this screw right here. This will be similar on most different brands of miter saws. So we can make the adjustment, I need to loosen the nut on the screw first. So I'll just give that a turn with the wrench. Now the set screw in the center is free and I can make adjustments to it. So now we'll bevel the saw back over. I've got the saw beveled back down, I have my square in place against the blade, and now I can begin to adjust that screw and watch the adjustment on the square until it lines up at 45 degrees. That's just about there, I think. A little bit more. And right about there is perfect. With the adjustment made, now I need to lock this nut back down, but I want to make sure that the screw doesn't turn. So I'm going to put my Allen wrench back into the screw, get the nut finger tight, and now while holding the screw from turning with the Allen wrench, I can tighten up the nut with my wrench. And now the bevel adjustment is set. To align my miter saw, it required only a few simple adjustments. However, miter saw fences may become damaged. This can happen by a kickback while using it, or maybe some damage while transporting it in the back of a truck. If this happens, you will not be able to make an adjustment to the fence. The fence will have to be replaced. You can find a full selection of miter saw fences and other parts at ereplacementparts.com. We hope you found this video helpful. Please feel free to ask us a question or leave a comment.